Right, today we are going to be, or I'm going to be talking about what I look for in my male and female betas or bettas when I'm purchasing them. So I'm going to be taking you over some of the traits that I'm looking for, or the main traits that I'm looking for when I'm selecting my males and females. Now obviously a lot of this is going to be predominantly about the male because the male has the bigger fins and the bigger body, and that's the main one that everyone seems to look for and to be able to identify different things on easier. So for the females, it's going to be exactly the same kind of thing. So you can literally transfer what I'm going to be talking about from the males to the females, just obviously on a slightly smaller scale and less dramatic scale, if you'd like. Okay, so before I start this, please remember, I am not a betta judge. I do not judge betas in competitions. I do not compete my betas, but I do try and follow the guidelines that they do set when I am selecting my breeders, when I'm buying my breeders in, and for when I am doing the selection for myself. So when I'm grading my own, for my own spawns, for my own offspring, this is what I'm looking for a good fish to carry on my lines for, and what ones get sold on to other breeders, or what ones just go for general pets, because they're still very pretty fish. There's nothing wrong with them. I will not let them go if there's anything seriously wrong with them. It's just that, you know, their tail might not be quite perfect, or their top line might not be quite perfect for what I'm looking for, and for maybe what other breeders are looking for as well. So let's try and get into this, and let's try and make sure that I'm doing this all correctly and that we all understand this. So when we start our lesson, no, I'm joking, absolutely not. Right, we're not doing that. It's fine. I can't act intelligent. Are we? No, absolutely not. Okay, so we've got all that out of the way. So the first thing I want to look for especially in the males, is I want to make sure that they are strong and healthy. So any fish that doesn't react to another fish, that doesn't show that typical Siamese fighter attitude, to the spunkiness to them, the aggression to them. So if they do not flare or react to another fish, they will not perform. They're just quite happily swimming about, doing their own little business, not worrying about, you know, showing off to anyone else. I will not pick, because I don't want to lose that, the whole personality of the betta fish or the Siamese fighter is that slight aggression, is that spunky attitude of them, and I don't want to lose that. So I always make sure that I look for healthy, vigorous fish to start with. If they're not healthy, if they're not vigorous, I will not pick them. They are not for me. They will then go on to like a forever pet home rather than being used for breeding, because it's quite often that you'll find that if the male doesn't have that spunky attitude, the female will then over-dominate him. And that's not really any good for the spawning either. You can often find that the males will actually get their butt whooped, because the females also show that kind of aggression as well. So let's get on to the first part of the body that I look for. Okay, so first of all, let's introduce you to Dwayne. This is Dwayne. This is my probably very poor drawing of a male betta fish. So as you can see here at Dwayne, Dwayne is or we are talking about today, the Plakat bettas. So these are the short fin betta fish. So let's start with those first. We're going to concentrate on those ones today. So here is Dwayne. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is the top line. So we're looking at the overall body shape as well. So we want our male bettas and our female bettas to be quite well built. We don't want them overly proportioned. We don't want them over exaggerated in the body. So we want a nice curve all the way over the body. So you want your males to be strong, but not overdeveloped at the same time. We don't want weedy bodies and we don't want overdeveloped bodies. So we want that nice in between, that nice proportion between them, you know, because I want personally for my breeder lines, I want nice strong boys, but not overly developed so they look odd. There's a balance that you need to, that you'll work out. So on the top line, this part here, we want top line to be smooth, a nice smooth arc to the top line from the mouth. You'll quite often get that little beta snout, as they call it, but after that it should be a nice smooth curve all the way up the top of the body. On these particular diagrams here on Dwayne, I've highlighted such things. We don't want it to become like a bump on the top of the fish, so it's going up and then bumping over. We don't want that either. Again, we want that nice smooth curve going up over the top line of the fish. We also don't want it under, so you don't want that to drop down to be more of a point towards the head and the nose. So again, that nice smooth top line is what I look for. It's what I find appealing within these fish. So that's what I try and pick for where I can. Okay, so the next thing I try and look for, so we're going to carry on up and over the top of the body and work our way round. So the next thing we're going to concentrate on, Dwayne, is the dorsal fin. So what I look for in my Plakat bettas with this dorsal fin is I just want a nice smooth outline to the dorsal. I want to make sure that it's nicely in proportion to the body. So I'm looking for roughly over about halfway. So from halfway along the fish back is where I'd like the dorsal to start, and then obviously going towards the back end of the fish. So I want that to be nicely in proportion. I don't want the edges to be too ragged. I want that nice smooth line as they're coming over. I do try and concentrate on the rays of these fins as well. So again, I want them to come straight up. I want nice strong rays, as you can see here, nice strong rays coming up the fin. And generally on a dorsal fin, they will then branch out into two as it then reaches the top of the fin. So you want those to be as evenly proportioned along the dorsal fin as they can be, and you'd really want that break, so that split in the fin, to also be as even as possible as well. Okay, so the next one we're going to look at on Dwayne is the caudal fin. So this is the big fin at the back of the fish. This is the defining fin that makes everyone so attracted and drawn to this type of fish, is the back fin. So on this fin, again, we're looking at a Plakat. So this is a short fin betta. What we're looking for on this is a nice capital D-shaped fin. So we want nice straight edges from the top and from the bottom of the body. We want that nice big capital D shape as it comes around. So a nice smooth curve to it. And we want we want sharp corners top and bottom as much as possible. Moving on to the rays of this fin. Now on short fin bettas, they don't have quite, obviously they don't have as much finnage to be holding up through those rays. But we still do want a nice strong ray coming through on that fin. So again, this particular ray on this fin is going to come out on a single ray. It's then going to branch out into two, and then those branches will then branch out into two again. So we're looking for that nice even 4-ray branching along the edge of the fin. This is what holds that fin in that beautiful capital D shape. And again, it's very easy to mistake the corners of those edges to become round. You want those as sharp as possible to make that perfect capital D. Okay, and the next one we're going to look at on Dwayne is the anal fin. So this is the bottom fin. Now what we're looking for on this is we don't want it to be too long and too dragging at the end. So we want it to come down a nice straight line on a nice angle, and then again from the body straight down. Again, as much to a point as possible, and less rounded round that edge. So we want that nice nice shape along that fin there. The rays in that generally are quite straight. You might get them, or they might, sorry, branch off into a 2 as they come towards the bottom of that fin. But 9 times out of 10, again, as long as they've got a nice strong ray coming down, whether it branches or whether it's just a straight ray, it's absolutely fine. We're just looking for that particular fin not to become too long and dragging. We just want it just perfect so it doesn't overhang too much. Okay, and the next or the last thing we're really going to be looking at on this on Dwayne here is the ventral fins. So with the ventral fins, you don't want them too long, but I like them on the slightly longer side than the shorter side. You will see bettas where they have quite short ventral fins, and then some that have really long ventral fins. I like mine to be quite dramatic, so I like them to come down to that point again, that sharp definition point at the end of the fin. We don't really want them breaking into 2, as you can see here, where sometimes you'll get that jagged, so the fin's actually broken into almost 2 splits. Again, you don't want that. The rays on these fins should be virtually straight. It shouldn't be an issue. Generally only 1 ray from top to bottom on these, but all you're really looking for is that nice straight fin, and to try not to get them to break off so it's into 2. Me personally, that's how I prefer mine. I prefer them to be nice, dramatic, so they can throw those around and get a little bit of attitude going. Okay, the only other fin that's really left now is the pectoral fins. Now, those are those little flappy bits at the side of the fish. I don't really scrutinise those too much, though. I mean, they should be there. They should definitely be there. They should definitely have them. Again, you want to make sure that they're equally balanced within each other. They're not oversized, they're not too small. You want a nice balanced shape from the body to those. But as long as they've got them, we're generally there's no way really to scrutinise those at all. You know, the little flappy things at the side. As long as they've got them, we're good. Okay, so there you go. We've gone over a rough a rough way of how I scrutinise and how I do it, how I pick my breeders. Like I said before, I am now talking to my importer to import me some for this year's spawning that I'm going to be doing. I have already got from the pairs that I kept through the summer, I have already got 2 spawns that are active, and so far a success. But they're still itty bitty little eyelash baby fry. So yeah, so I'm just gonna, you know, these are the fish I kind of look for when it comes to me picking my plakat bettas. Again, these are obviously the males. The females, virtually the same. The only thing I'd say on the females is just watch their body. Sometimes they can become a little bit oval in their body. They can be a little bit oval, no real shape to them, where I like them to be in a bit of a teardrop shape. Quite often females can become quite heavy, so you want them to be I'd like them to be a nice teardrop shape to their body rather than a big stocky oval to them. But other than that, fin wise, again, you do it all the same. They all have the same fins. You still want that nice strong rays coming through. You definitely still want a healthy, vigorous animal. If anything, that's really the main thing to look for. Is it doesn't matter how good its fins are, how beautiful the colour is to this fish. If it's not strong, it's not healthy, and it's not vigorous, I will not pick it. So, that's quite a short video for me. I haven't waffled too much either, which is I'm starting to do it now though. So I'm going to let you go. If you've got any questions at all about this, drop it in the comment section below. A bit later on, give me a few weeks or whatever, and also if you want it, I will do one on a half moon, because they are slightly different, mainly towards that big capital D shaped fin at the back. That's slightly different. You want the rays to be slightly altered in that, but other than that, you look for exactly the same thing. But if you do want one on how I select and what traits I look for in a half moon, hit me up and I'll do a video similar to this one, but we won't be able to use Dwayne for this. We'll have to use another one. So if you'd like that and you'd like to drop a name suggestion for the next bad drawing that I may attempt, let me know your request. Okay, so for now I'm going to love you and leave you. So take care of yourselves, everyone. Have a nice time and enjoy it. Bye bye.